Anything to say?
Oh, well, your name?
Now, that teenager that you saw grinning is being arrested for killing and eating a New York town's beloved swan and stealing its babies. Now, NBC News has some more details on this disturbing crime, but just as a warning, they are discussing animal abuse.
Police say the 3 teenagers jumped the fence here at the Swan Pond enclosure in between midnight and 3 a.m. on Memorial Day. Their investigation revealing the teenagers aged 16, 17, and 18 held down Faye while she was nesting and killed her on site. Police believe the teenagers then stole the 4 baby swans and left with Faye. The boys then returned home with the swan, where according to authorities, the family ate the swan on Memorial Day. According to police, the teens thought that they were hunting and that Faye was not a swan, but a large duck.
They believed that it was just a very large duck. They did not know that it was a swan, and they did not know that it was not a wild animal, that it was actually owned by the village Manlius.
What?
I'm sorry, I'm not buying that for a second.
Right.
Why are we taking the teen's word for it that he believed it was a duck? How could you look at that swan and think it was a duck?
Well, how does it? How does that make it better?
Right.
I thought it was a duck. That's why I jumped over it and just like ate it like a caveman. Like, yeah, that was quite strange. I was asking, did he do it for social media? Was it like he filming himself or something?
I don't know. There's not enough details. But one detail we do have, fortunately, is that according to the police, the baby swans were unharmed and they're going to be taken care of by a biologist until they can be released.
Well, at least
right now he's taking care of the 4 cygnets. He will take care of those probably for another 6 weeks because they're not ready to be put back into the pond yet to live on their own.
As for the father swan, Manny, his days at this pond will also be numbered. After losing a mate, he could become aggressive when the babies are reintroduced to the pond. A biologist working with the swans will also work with local leaders on finding a new home for Manny.
According to AP News, 3 teenagers were arrested Tuesday on charges including grand larceny, criminal mischief, and trespassing in connection with the swan napping. 2 of the suspects, aged 16 and 17, were released to their parents because they are juveniles. Police said the third, who is 18, is awaiting arraignment. Now, this is horrifying, but the fact that he was smiling like that, I feel like that's evidence enough that the police shouldn't just be taking his word for it that they thought it was a duck. And like you said, Jackson, how is that better? How is it better?
Right. I don't know how that makes it better at all. Like eating any type of animal, like just live and raw. Like if you didn't go to the store, even if you went hunting or something, at least there's that. Like I went deer hunting and ate the meat. Like at least that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think, he was smiling because he's a kid and he's dumb and he was feeling uncomfortable too. But like, what an embarrassing thing to have on your record and to have to like, communicate to people. Like, I heard your son got arrested. Like, yeah, like, and they're trying to goad you to tell them more. I'm like, yeah, he got arrested. Let's just leave it at that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you tell people that went down? But yeah, this is a very strange story, but if you can imagine that somebody out here is doing it, people be crazy.
Right. And speaking of crazy people doing random crime,